Once upon a time, there was a widow who lived with her 2 sons. One was gentle and industrious and became a shoemaker. The other, bold like a lion, who spent his time hunting. Every evening, the bold son usually went out into the woods with his rifle and poached the entire night. His mother often said to him,
"William, they'll catch you and put you in prison. Why can't you stay calm like your brother?"
Mother, they call me Fearless William. I'm not afraid of anything, so never worry about my head. Don't you fret on my account.
His brother also gave him some good advice, but that was like preaching in the desert. Therefore, one day, he wanted to try to make William afraid and put an end to his habitual nocturnal adventures. He draped a sheet over himself and positioned himself on some stairs where his brother had to pass. Upon seeing this phantom blocking his way, William didn't show the slightest emotion.
Get out of my way so I can pass.
His brother did not move.
Get out of my way or I'll kill you. Huh, so you don't want to move.
William descended the stairs and continued on his way, without concerning himself with what had happened.
"Weren't you frightened?"
Frightened? Why should I have been? Frightened by that imbecile I killed on the stairs?
How unfortunate. You've killed your brother, and now you're lost. You must leave quickly to escape the gendarmes.
As she wept, the mother gave him a small bundle of clothes, and William took off on a path through the woods. He walked across the forest until evening, and when night came, he felt tired and stretched out beneath a large oak tree. All of a sudden, he noticed 3 hanged men above him dangling from the branches.
Well, hello. What are you all doing there? Since the ground is hard, you'll make a nice bed for me.
He climbed the oak, cut down the hanged men, and placed 2 of them on the ground side by side.
Good. Here's my mattress.
He placed the 3rd one above their heads.
You'll be my pillow.
Then he lay down on this new kind of bed and fell asleep. Toward midnight, he was awakened by the sobbing of one of the hanged men.
You're making too much noise for a dead man. I hope you'll soon stop this lamenting. What do you want?
I want to reveal a secret to you, while there's still a little life in me. We were hanged because we stole some precious vases and ornaments of the nearby church. We buried them at the foot of the big tree at the end of the first crossroad you'll find when you take this path. I regret what I did. I want my soul to find peace, so go dig up the treasure and bring it to me.
William promised to do as he said, and went straight to the vicarage.
Was something stolen from your church, Father?
Yes, and I'll give a good reward to anyone who brings back the objects that were stolen.
Well then, I hope that you'll have them back even today.
And William departed, and just before noon, he returned to the vicarage. He had easily found what he had gone out to search. The hanged man had not deceived him.
Father, I brought you the vases and the sacred ornaments.
Thank you, my friend. I am now going to give you the reward that I promised.
I don't want anything but one of your robes.
All right, take this one, but don't make bad use of it. To be sure, I wouldn't give you the robe if you hadn't proven to me that you are a good person.
William thanked him and continued on his way. That evening, he arrived at an inn and asked for lodging for him and his mule. I forgot to tell you that he had a mule with him that carried his baggage.
"We don't have any room. Not for you, but your animal."
So we must sleep in the open air tonight?
"There's an old uninhabited chateau near here, but I don't recommend going there because it's haunted, and you might rue the day you went there."
Tell me the way there, and I'll go right away. I've yet to know anything that I fear.
1 hour later, in plain night, he installed his mule in the stable of the chateau, and he himself entered a beautiful, well-lit room, where he found a meal set for 6 people on a round table. There were also many well-filled casseroles steaming on a bright fire.
Ah, just what I want. I'm dying of hunger, and I'm cold. Let's approach this good fire.
After he warmed himself, he decided to sit down at the table.
I don't like dining alone, but there are many settings. Perhaps the invited guests will soon arrive.
Just then, there was a lot of noise in the chimney, and poof! A little man fell out.
Well, what a droll way to make an entrance.
A second, then another arrived from the same chimney, then 3 at one time.
Good, now we have half a dozen. Now you'll get to work. You put out the fire. You get some water.
One of the last to arrive was a bit larger than the others, and supported his 2 companions while looking at fearless William.
What are you doing here?
And you?
I'm in my own home.
Well then, I've invited myself to dine with you. Let's go. Everyone, let's sit down at the table.
The little man did as he was told. After dinner, they began to play cards. One of the little man's cards fell under the table.
Fetch my card.
Get your own card.
I want you to fetch my card.
And I told you I don't want to.
The little man leaned over, and instantly, William covered him with the robe that he had received from the vicar. The little man did a somersault.
Ah! Take that off me! You're burning me!
No, I won't take it off until you promise me, first, never to reappear here, neither you nor your gang.
I promise.
And next, you must tell me where I can find the treasure of the chateau.
Take the robe off me and I'll tell you everything.
Well then, begin.
Our master had us collect all this gold for him and never gave us a single ounce of it. 10 leagues west of the chateau, you will find a large cave with a scent of metal. In it, you will find both our treasure and our master. But to get the treasure, our master must be defeated first.
Well, if your master's anything like you, then I shall have no problem doing so. Is that all there is?
Yes, now take this robe off me. You're burning me.
With this information in hand, William set off on his journey once again. After many nights and many days, he arrived at the cave the little man told him about.
This doesn't seem that bad. I'll relieve this place of its valuables swiftly, and then I can go back to my warm fire.
William approached the cave with caution, his path lit by his torch, keeping his sense of direction by following the metallic scent as it got stronger and stronger. Finally, he saw some light within the cave, and rushed towards it to find a huge open area with mountains of gold piled up.
Ah, yes, this is what I was looking for. With this much gold, I'll do anything I want.
With this, William began to collect as much of the gold as he could carry. Suddenly, the earth beneath his feet started vibrating as he began to lose his balance.
What's this?
Just then, a huge dragon rose out of the piles of gold and addressed William.
Who dares disturb my peaceful slumber? Is it you, puny human?
Ha! They call me Fearless William. You must be the master of those little men. Very well, I shall slay you and take this treasure for myself.
William charged at the giant dragon, confident in his own skill to defeat the beast. However, in one fell swoop, he was burned to a crisp. As he lay dying, he could hear a voice call out to him.
William. William. William.
What is that? Who are you? Is this how the legacy of Fearless William really ends?
Listen well, young William. This is how your future will be. You killed your own brother and then proceeded to act unjustly in all your dealings. You see where this will lead you now? It can only result in death, and there is no way to escape this. However, if you change the way you deal with others, you might be able to save yourself and perhaps what you desire. You have one chance now.
With a start, William woke up in the dead of night.
My, what a horrible dream that was. Well, that's all it was, just a dream.
He looked around at his surroundings and grew alarmed. He realized that he was in the same place he'd seen in his dream, as the dying man began telling him his tale and his request. He vowed to not let the legacy of Fearless William end the way it was predicted to him. After he confirmed his resolve, the man's life ended and William was all alone.
Very well. I shall proceed in a different manner then. Good sir, I shall not leave you out here like this, but instead give you a proper burial.
With this, he dug out 3 graves for the men and buried them, giving each a short prayer. William then set out to recover the items stolen from the church, which were in the same spot as the man had described. Satisfied with his findings, he went back to the church to return them.
Father, I have heard that some items were stolen from your church. Would these be those items you were looking for?
Oh, my child. My God, these are the items I've been searching for. I thank you very much for your kind actions. How can I repay what you've done?
Worry not, Father. I require no compensation for returning the items that were lost to you. I have a quest that I must undertake by my own will alone.
The vicar, knowing what was in William's heart, smiled.
Very well then, child. Take this gift. I pray you make good use of it.
The vicar pulled out a shield from within the vase that was stolen and handed it to William along with a matching broadsword. William thanked him for his gift and continued on his path of redemption. Eventually, he came across the same inn that he saw in his dreams.
Perhaps there is something here that I should correct as well. Good evening, Mr. Innkeeper. Would you happen to have an available room tonight and a stable where I could keep my mule sheltered for the night?
The innkeeper noticed the broadsword and shield and grinned.
A warrior is always welcome here. I just wish I was so young enough to swing my blade, as trouble has been afoot in this village.
The innkeeper then explained how mysterious thieves were stealing gold and other valuables from the area, and how a dragon's roar constantly disturbed their sleep.
To protect this village, I'll slay the dragon.
Are you sure?
While looking at William, the innkeeper noticed his fierce determination and decided to believe him. He gave William a white horse and his old chainmail to aid him in his fight. The next morning, William took off on the white horse towards the chateau once again. During the dead of the night, William arrived at the next location in his journey, the haunted chateau.
Hello there? Is anyone home?
After waiting for a while, nobody came to answer, so he went into the house alone, realizing that the lock was left open. He began to inspect the place to see if he could find any trace of life, when all of a sudden he heard a loud racket and new voices from within the chateau. Right then, 6 little men and William made contact.
Well, I say, who are you and what are you doing in our home?
Please, good sir, I mean no harm. I came upon this place and saw that the lock was left open, so I merely came in to check if everything was all right. But my, you all look extremely dirty and tired. Wash yourselves while I prepare something to eat.
The little man agreed, albeit hesitantly, and let William do as he said. However, while he was cooking, William couldn't help but recognize the trails of gold dust throughout the home. After they all sat down at the table, William questioned them.
I say, this house seems to have traces of gold, but I see you all in this dreary state. You wouldn't happen to be the ones who have been stealing from this area, are you?
The little man realized that he had found them out, and didn't say anything for a couple minutes until one of the younger ones stood up.
Yes, it is true. We are the ones who have been stealing gold from this area, but we do not do so of our own volition. It is our master, the awful dragon, who forces us to bring him more and more gold, or else he will burn down our precious chateau. We swear it to be the truth.
The dragon has a hand in this as well? Very well, do not worry. I shall be the one to slay this dragon once and for all and set this land free.
With fiery resolve, William set off on the final part of his journey towards the dragon's den, atop his white steed. He reached the cave and carefully strode in as he remembered from his vision, until he came across the same clearing as before.
Wake, vile beast! Today is the day you shall meet your maker. Your reign of terror ends now.
The dragon rose from his slumber and towered over William.
So another human thinks that he can best me. Very well. I was getting a bit hungry anyways.
The dragon let loose a huge fire, but William blocked it with his shield, and began began to close in more and more until he eventually got close enough to stab the dragon with the sword. The dragon fell down in pain and shock.
You managed to withstand my flame. Interesting. You are the first of your kind. Tell me, young knight, what is the name of the one who bested me in battle?
My name is Fearless William.
The dragon then took his last breath, and as he did so, the little men from the chateau came running in.
Good night, you have slayed the dragon. What a happy day.
As they said this, the little men were enveloped in a blinding light, and as it faded, there stood 6 beautiful fairies.
William, your actions and good heart have let you change your future. In doing so, you have also freed us from our prison. We will grant you one wish. What do you desire?
As William stood there, he began to weep.
I've been such a fool, so consumed by greed and pride that I threw away my greatest treasure, my family. All I wish for is for a second chance to be with my family again.
All of a sudden, William was surrounded by white light.
This is our gift to you.
As the light began to fade, William discovered that he was back at his home. He was standing in front of some stairs as if he was about to go down, and on the stair steps, he spotted the corner of a white sheet.
Things will be different this time, lest my worst fears come true.